So not long ago we made a tiny Dutch style aquarium in a miniature Dua tank. It was quite low tech. It had a tiny USB pump. It had some CO2. It had a tiny light as well, more powerful than the light or than the tank should have. But I think we should upgrade a little bit because I miss that colorful little tank actually. And what I'm gonna do, and you can already see it, or what I've done, is we're gonna use this UNS 5N. We're gonna use the filter, we're not gonna use the light, and we're gonna use the backsplash as well. So we're gonna keep it a little bit dark. I've ordered some fresh and beautiful and colorful plants. So I think it's time to start a new video. So it's time to open this big monster package. I do have to find some scissors. So I'm running around here as a headless chicken. And let's see if everything that I ordered is in the box, because sometimes it can be a surprise, because you know, even in the greenhouse not everything is on stock when you need it. Let's put it a little bit higher. Protection, which is always good because the mailman here likes to throw with boxes and isn't familiar with the arrows on the box with this side up. So there's already planned what I was in doubt with, and this is a bulb, the Apologeten. I don't know, even you guys are probably laughing. What is he saying? See the name? So this is 5 tiny bulbs, but the plant is actually kind of big. It's probably from Madagascar. That's the name. I'm not gonna pronounce it anymore because you guys will just laugh way too hard to me. So one of my favorites, Apologeten Madagascariensis or erectus, few names. We're gonna use the Rotale Indica again. I also used it at the first nano tank that I had. Rotala Rotundifolia blood red, also one of my favorites. Then we have Alternanthera Reineckii mini. Haven't used that one before. I've used the bigger versions before. Hygrophila, Lancea, Araguaia. I'm not certain if I'm gonna use it. I'm a favorite of this plant, but it tends to melt on me. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, and it's a little bit of a crazy plant. And then we probably have some potted plants as well, I think, but I'm not sure. Oh no, that's the, I'm wrong. We're gonna use the Dennerle substrate system, and I think this is it. But before we end this shot, I have 2 more plants that I'm gonna add, and yes, they are not Dennerle. But we cannot have it all. Another Ludwigia species that I ordered from aquascaping, and I'm not gonna pronounce this name. Almost sounds like a disease, but it's a beautiful plant. And then the Eriocaulon SP polaris. And this is just an epic plant. I had them in like the big 90p as well, and some nanos. And it tends to melt on me as well, and usually in the beginning it does very good, but then later on it starts melting. So I don't know, I want to learn to grow this. So we have a nice collection of plants, as you can see. We have quite a few species, so we can go all out on this tank. I'm pretty happy that they put the substrate with the box as well. I didn't expect them coming together. We're going to use a normal aqua soil. We're going to top it off with some finer soil. So yeah, sorry Dennerle plants, but we're going to use some Tropica powder soil over the substrate layer to get the planting a little bit bigger or more solid. So that's what we're going to do. The tank is still running, so so what I was trying to say before I push the stop record button is that the tank is still running. The filter is still on, the old water's in, still some substrate is in. I only removed some of the big boulders and the wood, and obviously the livestock. So the beneficial bacteria are still in. I'm going to use some of the old water, and I'm obviously going to use the old filter. So I think we have a head start. I'm going to look if I have another C2 RGB light, because the set series light is just too tiny. Also, we're going to leave the background in. I'm not fond of swapping them that often, and it's ADA background, so they're quite expensive as well. And maybe it will look good on a Dutchstyle. I never tried a black background on a Dutchstyle tank. The last time we did it, we put on a transparent one. We're going to clean out the lily pipes a little bit, and then maybe change the hoses as well. But that's a thing for the future, like we did on the Unis Iwagumi scape. But yeah, I think it's time to clean it out and start planting. So the tank is now clean. And sorry guys, we have a little bit of a reflection because we're still working during the day. The Unis 5N, it's 36 by 22 by 22, which leaves us roughly with 70 liters. Obviously some soil will go off and some substrate, but it's more than enough to make a cute little Dutchstyle tank. I didn't show this plant earlier, I still had it. We're going to use some Cuba for the foreground. We're going to surround it with the Eriocaulon and with some other plants that we have. Already mapped it a little bit, so the Rotala Rotundifolia will go in the back with the Pogestamon. Then the name I will not pronounce, the bulbs I will place in the back as well. I just hope that the leaves don't overgrow too much. The other Rotale Indica is quite small, will not grow that fast. I think I added more than 100 days in the other tank and was only this high. It just needs a lot of time. Then the Reineckii, it will surround the Cuba as well, and then the Hygrophila will be a low one as well. And then the Ludwigia, I think it's a great idea to place it before the red plants and just mix it up a little bit, so it will be more like this. And hopefully it's enough. I have some more of other species, but I just want to make one group of all and don't want to have them all over the place, meaning that the Rotala won't come here and here and here, just a row or a bunch with every species that I have. So I was a little bit in doubt if I have enough background plants, but now I'm in doubt I have enough foreground plants. But I want to make a nice patch of HG and just surround it. These will be spread out differently than the other ones. The Eriocaulon, not as a group as I told you guys, and the other ones will be in groups. Or so that's my idea, but maybe that will change as we start planting. So we're gonna start off with the Dennerle substrate system. This package should be enough for a cube of 30-30-30, I believe. I can see on the back, yeah, so they say 1 liter, so this is 1 bag for the 30-30. We're gonna use a little less because otherwise it's a little bit too much of substrate. But as we chuck it in, maybe a little bit more, but I will spread it out. And this time I won't make the mistake to replant later on. What I did with the Blixa, with some Blixa was just wrong. I put them in, eventually they started growing way faster than the other plants that I had, and it was really overgrowing. Yeah, and that's the thing with Blixa, they tend to overgrow really fast. So yeah, hopefully that won't happen again. I'm gonna use some more. I'm not gonna use any other additives, so I'm not gonna use the fertilization tablets. I do have them. Well, this is a real chunk. I'm gonna remove this. And that's what you get when you ship it and it gets pressed down to each other. It's, yeah, I can break it down later. It's not in need. And we're gonna make somewhat of a slope, not too much. We don't need to actually. So if we have a centimeter of this, it would be great. So this looks nice and tidy. It's always satisfying to do this. Then we're gonna use the Dennerle soil. I have some leftovers. The bag is really big, but we're gonna use this. This is one bag, an empty bag. And we have a fresh bag. I think I have to move the lights a little bit. Otherwise I will throw it around on the desk. And meanwhile I'm cutting it open, you guys won't see it. Because the desk isn't that big. I think this is a little bit different of a video style that I used to do. Usually I put the music on and you guys just see me do my thing and I just talk in between, but I don't know, feels a little bit like a workshop, but maybe it's a cool thing to do in the future. And let me know in the comments if you enjoy this kind of video as well. I mean, I could really learn for it if you guys tell me if you enjoy them and what you enjoy about them. I'm going to use a little bit more. We're going to make it a little bit more higher, and then we're going to use some finer soil. And it's way easier by hand. And then we're going to top it off with the Tropica powder. Sadly, Dennerle doesn't have the powder yet. Hopefully that will come in the future. And it's easier also if you're making slopes, it will roll less and it will just fall in nicely. Same with if you stick plants in the wet version of the powder, it will just stay nicer and it won't float. Some people have problems planting, and with this soil it will go easier. I will just clean the plants a little bit, remove the in vitro gel. We're not using potted plants, so we don't have any problems removing the wool. So let me clean the plants. The lily pipes will be on this side, outlet, inlet, and I know these bulbs will get quite big, so it's a risk. This is one of the risks we're gonna take here, and we gently place it on top. And I honestly never used them before, but I think this is the right way. So we're gonna place it a little bit in the soil, but enough to have it positioned. Or shall I place it a little bit more to here? I think this is better. We still can chuck down the soil, so it has plenty of space, and then we do the groups. So we're gonna start a little bit in the middle, and these are nice in vitros. Honestly, use my fingers a little bit to keep it down. We can make them smaller, but they're like this in the in vitro, so I don't know, keep them a little bit like this. There are a few stems to each other. Usually I just plant all the stems separately. It gives it more dense look, but I think this will do fine right now with the really tiny in vitros. And the reason I'm using my finger is that I have a little bit more feeling that it is stable in the soil and will not float when I fill it up with water. And don't worry about the amount. I have a little bit more in vitros back, so I have another pot, and we can also, I don't know, put more in if needed, plant more densely, but I think this will grow proper fast. So like I said, usually I plant the stems one by one, and if you see it, guys, I will just pull the in vitro into tiny pieces and just plant them. And usually you plant them a little bit from the side and plant them in. I always tell people, but don't do it myself now. And even though I said in my last videos I dislike planting, but if I have the time and I'm not that rushed, I quite enjoy the planting, especially when it turns out nicely. Really beautiful plant, this Rotala. Let me first do a few bunches of everything, and then later on we can make the decision to put in more or less. So I'm gonna plant some extra Deccanensis. I think it needs a little bit more, so the background will be filled in, but like I said, I will keep some space for the bulb as well because the leaves will grow massive. I hope this species will be a little bit more tiny than the ones for that I see online, and I kind of chose for it, but for some reason the details that I see online are quite different on every web page. But maybe it's even way too big for this tank. But like I said, I never used it. I'm no expert on alp plants by far. But I don't know, I just really like the plant. I've seen it in aquariums, different species, and I just wanted to try it. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But it is what it is. I think we did a nice job. We made a group here, the Lobelia. I'm not experienced with this plant as well. I think I can keep it short, but we shall see. I thought I had another cup of HC, but that wasn't the case because actually I wanted to make more of a carpet, but now we'll just stay like this with the Eriocaulon, some Hygrophila, and the nice bonsai, which I have a few stems left. But as you can see, everything except for the Deccanensis, the Progestemon Deccanensis, is all one cup. So it's really nice. I even have some leftovers of the Reineckii Mini. I hope it will look nice like this. And I think we're done. So we're gonna clean the filter a little bit. I didn't clean the filter yet. Clean the filter, put the water in, some old water, and I'm gonna cycle it. I'm not gonna use the bio CO2. I'm out of that, so I'm gonna use a full bottle for the whole tank. Just a normal bottle with a normal diffuser, and it will be more stable with a nice clock on it and not running 24/7. So yeah, I'm happy, and I'm gonna fill it, and we see the results in a few weeks.